Hey guys, welcome back to Carey Digital, where I teach side hustlers and small business owners how to create, connect, and earn in the digital space. So, what does that look like? I teach you how to build and maintain an online presence. I share with you ways to make money online, and I also share digital tools to help you level up in your side hustle and in your business. In today's video, I'll be sharing some of the challenges I faced last year in my side hustle. I'm talking the things that I failed at terribly and the stuff that hindered my progress last year. These tips will be great for those of you who are new to side hustling or even thinking about side hustling. I'm sharing these things because guess what? I like to share what I know could possibly help you to be better at something. And for my side hustlers, 2021 is the year that I feel like if you never make no money last year, you can re-strategize and set new goals and make some money this year. So if that's something you want to learn about, you definitely want to stick around. Let's jump right into it. One of the biggest challenges for me last year was time management. And when I talk about time management, it was just a hot mess for me. I was terrible at scheduling, I was terrible at creating my systems, I was terrible at prioritizing. I was juggling my 9 to 5 and juggling my side also. But one of the biggest things about my time management was that I was just doing too many things, and that was another big challenge for me. I was just doing too many things, I took on too many things, and I wasn't realistic about my goals, and I wasn't realistic about how much I could do, when I could do it, and how I could do it. And that was just crazy because I wasn't pacing myself. So that was a big challenge for me, and my time management led to me feeling burnt out to the point where I just had to stop. My body forced itself to stop. Like, listen, you have to take a break. You have to get a breather. It's great that I'm passionate and enthusiastic and want to keep going and want to create, but at some point I have to take a break, and that's something that I struggled with last year. And as I said, my body forced me to take a break because I got burnt out. And so yeah, as I said, part of all of that happened because me managing my time wasn't the best of things that I was doing last year. And so it led to, as I said, being burnt out and and because I wasn't taking the breaks, it led to burnt out. Because I didn't have systems, and I'll talk a little bit more about systems in a few, I just crashed. Like, literally, I flaked on so many of my clients last year. I want to be very transparent with you guys. I flaked on some of my clients last year because I got so overwhelmed, and I was like, you know what, let me just stop. And I had to rethink and, like, you know what, you can't do no more, just stop. And so yeah, time management is a big thing for everyone, and especially for a side hustler. You want to be very mindful of how you manage your time, what you take on, and just being able to prioritize. So make that a number one thing for you. I spoke about being burnt out briefly, but that's my number two challenge last year was being burnt out, because again, wasn't pacing myself, I wasn't taking breaks, and I wasn't practicing self-care. And when I talk about not practicing self-care, I'm talking about I wasn't getting enough sleep, I wasn't eating properly, I was just a hot mess, like literally a hot mess. And talking about it now makes me so disappointed in myself in a sense, because I'm like, why on earth was I doing all of this? And thinking back, the reason why I did all of this was like, I was like, listen, this is the pandemic, let me just do, let me just go, because I don't want to waste any time. I want to be very productive, but at the same time, I forgot that I'm a human being. Like, I can do, but at some point I have to take a break. And yeah, being burnt out was a big challenge for me, and it hindered me in a major way. My third challenge last year was doing too many things at once. That connects back to time management, that connects back to being burnt out. And yeah, that was a big thing for me. I was doing too many things. I was doing online courses, I was creating new services. I literally started my YouTube channel last year. I literally restarted building up my passive income last year, where I created a template shop where I create Canva pre-made templates for female entrepreneurs who wants to engage your audience online. And I was even creating online course that I'd be rolling out for this year. So it was just so many things. Like, yes, I know about goal setting. Yes, I know about setting targets. But for me, sometimes, because I'm so passionate and so enthusiastic, and because my brain just bursts with ideas sometimes, I just decided I was going to run with them all. And that was a very big mistake, because of course it didn't work out, and there were some things that I wanted to do that just couldn't get done because my goals were not realistic, literally. All right, and the fourth thing for me was not having systems. I think I've touched on this briefly, but when I talk about systems, I'm talking about how do you do things in your business or your side hustle. Do you have a process? Is the process automated? When and how do you create your content? Are you delegating? Are you doing everything on your own? That kind of thing. And for me, my systems is a hot mess, and it's a work in progress. It was a hot mess last year. Literally, I had no systems, and I realized I didn't have systems because, as I said, I'm a very passionate person, and I work with this thing where you call impulse, and I'll be like, get up and I just start doing things, and I roll it out and I feel good, but then I can't maintain it because I don't have a solid system. And because I didn't have a solid system, I couldn't be as consistent as I wanted to be. So one of the benefits of having system is that it helps with consistency. And as a side hustler, you want to ensure you have that, because if you think about it, in your 9 to 5, you have to have systems, because it is what helps to keep the wheels turning. And to keep the wheels turning in your side hustle and in your business, you will need systems. Yeah. And again, not being consistent, I spoke about that. So guys, if you realize, there's a very big link between everything. From I talk about time management, being burnt out, taking on too many things, not having systems, and not being consistent, everything ties all together. And if you realize, these challenges, of course, can hinder progress, can mash up your business, can even run your red zero. So these challenges made me realize I was doing a lot of things wrong. Very wrong. It's good to be passionate. It's good to want to do a lot of things. It's good to be bursting with ideas, but it isn't good to want to do all of these things and not assessing and not setting goals, realistic goals, that is, And so I sat down earlier this year and I said to myself, what can I do differently this year as a side hustler? What can I do differently? I set very big goals in terms of my financial goals. I set very big goals in terms of what I want to accomplish. But in order to accomplish these things, what can I do differently? And there are 3 major things I wrote down. And it's 1, having more targeted goals, which means it's not that it's not like I'm making my goals smaller necessarily, and be more targeted and be more realistic. So what I've decided to do is to make my goals quarterly. And I'm a part of a mastermind group with 2 awesome ladies, and we spoke about just creating systems for this year. And one of the things that was suggested in the mastermind group was to focus on 1 major goal for the quarter. And for quarter 1 for me, my major goal is building up my system for my template shop and building and growing my template shop. That's my major goal for quarter 1. I think I'm doing good so far. I think because I'm more intentional about pacing myself, I have been taking my time. I've been doing the foundation work, and as I said, doing what's necessary to help build and maintain. So as much as I have so many ideas for this template shop, as much as I have so many ideas for many other projects, I'm really pacing myself. I have so many ideas for this YouTube channel, but I really can't do all of them right now. And because I have a major goal for Q1, which is focusing on my template shop, I have to find a way to seamlessly merge it with my YouTube channel without feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, and as I said, burnt out and overwhelmed pretty much. So yeah, setting more targeted goals is a major thing that I'm doing differently this year, and of course pacing myself. And then the other thing for me is systems, which is I've been working and using tools that will help me. So my calendar is not my best friend. If someone wants to have a meeting with me, want to run some ideas by me, if you want to collaborate, the calendar, am I available? And I'm also very big on being okay with saying, listen, I have to reschedule because 1, I feel overwhelmed, or 2, I don't have the time. That's literally it. I'm not putting myself in a position where I feel like I have to. Like if I feel tired, I'm gonna say I'm listening to my body. That's literally the point I've reached where I am being very realistic. So my calendar is a major friend for me right now. It's a major friend. I also utilize Evernote, which is a great tool I utilize to jot down my notes, jot down my ideas. But coupled with Evernote, I use Asana. Like Asana is the boss, by the way. Like I've been using Asana over the years, but no, it's like my bosom. Like it's right under my bosom. Like it's my handbag. Like this is what I use to create my systems, to schedule my content, to brainstorm, it's just so many. I use it for so many things, and it links back to my calendar. So if there's something that I need to schedule and create, I link it to my calendar. My calendar would give me a notification that on a specific day I need to do it, and I try my best to stay on top of things with this Asana and my calendar, but it really helps me. And this is what I literally use to map out my content for YouTube, map out the plans I have for my template shop, and so many other things. So guys, if you're thinking to start your side hustle, or if you're a side hustler who struggle with these same things that I mentioned, yeah, you probably need to sit down, not probably, but you should sit down and think about the ways you can work on improving this year and how you can do things differently this year. It's great that we want to make more money. It's great that the internet is big and we can connect with thousands of people globally. But if you're not well, if you're not taking care of yourself, it makes no sense. And all of that comes back to time management, taking breaks, pacing yourself, having systems, which will help you in the long run to be more consistent. So guys, thank you for listening, and you definitely want to check out 2 of my videos. On one, which is self-care tips for entrepreneurs, and you also want to check out my video on sorry guys, I'm having a little blank. My other video on time management tips for side hustlers. So time management skills for side hustlers, and of course self-care tips for entrepreneurs. 2 very good videos where I spoke about time management and just self-care overall based on lessons I've learned last year. So thanks for watching guys, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share with a friend, especially if that friend is a small business owner or a side hustler. Until next time, bye.